Let's refresh it. So they're saying a special education teacher suddenly called in sick with food poisoning. But when it emerged what she was really doing, she was immediately fired. Now, what it appears she was doing, y'all. Now, y'all got to come in close for this. Now, what the people had said she was doing, right? The folks had said she took a student to the clip clinic. That's what they said. They said she had took a student. She had said she was sick, had a little piece of food poisoning, and then done took that girl down there to one of them clip clinics to get it snip up out of her. And girl, I think right out the gate, that's wrong as fuck, because that's not your child. That is not your child, ma'am. For you to be taking anybody's kid, I mean, was that your child? But this sounds like a special education, special needs. I'm not sure. Okay, people like to say they two different things. But listen, either way, it was a kid that you took down to get a whoop whoop. Girl, this is crazy. They said a New Hampshire teacher has been fired after she secretly escorted a pregnant special needs student to an abortion clinic. Let me tell you something. If this student is special needs, then you should have been investigating and asking who did this to you. With what happened to you, did you consent? You should have been taking her somewhere to get a different type of help, not to try and hide what had happened to her. I feel like, in my opinion, personally, you should have got fired. But that's just in my personal, okay? Hold on one second. Then they said she told staff she had food poisoning, but instead drove a student to the medical facility. According to court documents, now the teacher was listed as working for Regional Services and Education Center, a nonprofit based in Amherst, okay, according to the Boston Globe. Now the institution...
Ready?
I don't want to hear the audio. Why y'all gotta be so loud with it? All right. Now, what they're saying is that the teacher was listed as working with the Regional Services and Education Center, a nonprofit based in Amherst. They said the institution serves grade 5 through 12 with special needs and disabilities across several schools in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. But it's unclear how old the student is, though. So we don't know if she 18. We don't know if the baby is 12. Girl, we don't know what the hell is going on. But this is some crazy shit, yeah. Now, they saying it comes after New Hampshire Education Commissioner and Frank Edublood, or whatever his name is, Frank E., aired the allegation in an opinion piece he penned in April called "Thank God Someone is Looking Out for the Children." Sir, I hope this title was you being sarcastic. They said while slamming a litany of issues in the school system, he questioned, should we turn a blind... Oh, he agreed. He was being sarcastic. He said, should we turn a blind eye when allegedly an educator lies by calling in sick so they can take a student without parental knowledge to get an abortion? Baby, fired and sued. You're out of order, ma'am. He also called out schools counselors who encourage students to transition their gender without involving a parent, and a mentor teacher who is drinking on the job while other educators turn a blind eye to it. Now, y'all know that lady was over there in California, over there, that was drunk than a skunk, okay? Loose than a goose, don't get me started, is what it was given over there as she was teaching second graders. And they said they can't charge her with nothing because there's nothing wrong with her showing up to the classroom being drunk, okay? Being loose as a goose is what they said. Now, they go on to say that this Frank E. person is a former GOP candidate for governor who last year expressed disappointment over the defeat of parental rights legislation, which would have led to greater transparency for parents into what goes on at the schools, right? Because, square, this is crazy. Now, they're saying that state officials opened a probe into the teacher's alleged failure to separate the personal lives of the students from her role as a classroom educator. Now, they did say snip snip is legal in New Hampshire for up to 23 weeks and 6 days into the pregnancy. Now, this is what they're saying. So there is no suggestion that the snip snip in this case was illegal. The only thing that was wrong was her doing it without getting the consent of her parents and just taking her down there all willy-nilly. Okay, and then when you supposed to be at work, you calling in sick, talking about you got some food poisoning. Now, how did y'all find this out? Now, they say court documents say the teacher involved told investigators she helped the student to determine how far along they were so they knew what options they'd have available. She found a safe place for the procedure and talked it through with the student before offering to accompany them because they didn't have anyone to support them. But when her employers found out, she was placed on administrative leave through the remainder of her employment contract. Okay, at which point her role will end. Now, letters to the teacher from the state of New Hampshire Education Department show they accuse her of failing to properly supervise and abide by ethical standards regarding student boundary protocols with the student under your care. Now, the school has been providing special education services for more than 40 years. I don't give a fuck how long they've been providing services. I don't give a damn how long y'all been around. And y'all highlighting how long y'all been around should be enough for that teacher to know what the hell her boundaries are and her operating outside of protocol. Ma'am, you was out of line. And you should be out of a job, okay? No, ma'am. But y'all still ain't telling the people how they found out. That's what I want to know. I don't care nothing about the abortion rates and all of this that y'all are trying to clue us in on, girl. I have a question to know. How did y'all come to find out about these details? Was it something about this child that y'all noticed? Did something come across y'all desk and y'all learned from then? Let me see what this news story is saying over here.
Expected to be front and center in the November election. Years since the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe versus Wade and national protections for abortion. On the steps of the Supreme Court, abortion rights activists gathered, briefly clashing with some counter-protesters. The issue is expected to be front and center in the November election. Meanwhile, New Hampshire has the strictest abortion laws in New England, banned in most cases 24 weeks after conception, and parents must be notified for patients under 18. Well, tonight, an abortion rights rally at the State House in Concord, with actor Tony Goldwyn coming in the wake of the public learning of a teacher's controversial firing in Amherst. Our NBC 10 Boston's Aaron Logan joining us live outside the school with that story all new at 11. Aaron.
Priscilla, a lot of mixed emotions on this one, especially on this particular evening involving abortion rights. The teacher worked for Regional Schools and Education Center. The school wouldn't comment, but they did confirm that the parents were all notified. A New Hampshire teacher fired for allegedly taking a student who attends a special needs school to have an abortion.
I feel for any student who's put in a situation where they have to make big decisions about their health care and don't feel like they can turn to their parents.
Across this country,
at a packed reproductive rights event in Concord, many speaking out in favor of the teacher, saying she was put in a tough situation.
I feel like the teacher was just doing what they felt as a human, and putting their job at risk. And as a student, like, you go to your teachers because you trust them.
That's way above her pay grade to begin with, and a student should not be in that situation. Like, there needs to be a better support system.
A report from the New Hampshire Department of Education says the teacher admitted to faking a sick day to take the student to have a medical procedure.
I'm sorry. I can't get with that. Who? Y'all over here upholding the teacher and her actions. I hear y'all, but it's not penetrating for me. I'm not able to support this. For y'all to feel like this, and the teacher to feel like this was the only option, she didn't have the support. Where was y'all at before this happened to know that she didn't have the support? When you saw that she wasn't getting the support that she needed leading up to this situation, where the fuck was y'all antennas at then? Did you step in at all and help out then? Because I am confusion. And now y'all trying to justify it so that y'all can, I guess, reverse whatever had been already taking place or whatever the case is, like when it comes to abortion and stuff like that. And I understand, and I do feel like women should have a right to make their own decision, in my personal, that, because that ain't none of my business. But when you're talking about a kid, and a special one at that, and they didn't really have the support, where the was you at when you saw she didn't have? Because if she didn't have the support for you to take her down there, then that means she didn't have the support before that happened. So where the was you at then? How did you show up then for you to feel so comfortable to call in saying that you sick to take her down there? I need more details for it to make sense, because it's not necessarily clicking.
It also details the teacher assured she spoke to the student for more than 2 weeks about options and finding a safe facility. The state's Education Department Commissioner Frank Edelbutt sounding the alarm in an op-ed against the teacher's alleged behavior in the incident. Protesters at Monday evening's Pro-Choice Concord event also sounding off.
The teachers should not be involved with them, taking kids to those clinics. Medical procedures? I mean, you can't give a kid an aspirin in school, and yet you can take them
to ma'am.
Have an abortion, which may have complications.
Come on.
And not tell a parent? No. I think the teacher should be fired, and I don't think she should ever get a job again.
Now, that might be a stretch, okay? You mean not get a job in the teaching field of some sort. Gotcha.
Now, documents given to us by the Department of Education show that the teacher's license and registration are valid pending the results of the investigation. Her identity is not being revealed. Live in Amherst.
Baby, ain't that some shit? Girl, that is some messy. That is crazy. That is crazy, okay? Whew, child. And you talking about leading up to it weeks before you tried to give her, I guess, a different way out and other stuff that you could have done. I don't know. I don't know if you should have went to the cops or something. Do you not feel safe at home? Did anybody at the home do this to you? Woo-de-woo-de-woo. You should have took her to Law and Order SVU. You should have took her to the Special Victims Unit, ma'am. You don't take her down there to no damn abortion unit. That's not your job. You right, it's above your pay grade. Okay? You over here going above and beyond. No, ma'am. I can't. All the best to that young lady. I'm sure hearing the news of this is probably even more traumatic, just as well as the situation of becoming pregnant, and God knows how she did because she's special needs. So I would be leaned towards the thought that she didn't even consent for this to go down. Okay, so I feel like she's violated right there, but that's just my opinion. And then for you to go through a traumatic experience of being having to get an abortion, and then now this aftermath, like, it's too much. I can't take it. I can't. And I understand y'all are not outing her identity and stuff like that, but y'all need to do some more investigating into the parents and stuff and why the teacher felt like the girl did not have the adequate support that she needed. Because if she ain't got that support leading up to that, it makes me question the parents and what's really going down, or I would say the caregivers, the people that's in charge of her, because she may not even be with her real parents. So it's just crazy, man. Like, I just, child, a damn mess, okay?